Hello friends, now we are going to discuss the fifth task of speaking, which is answer short question. The reason this task is called answer short question is because you'll be asked a question and you're required to give a simple answer which should be either of one or as few words as possible. Most of the times the answer will be of just one single word. Whether you give your answer in a singular sense or a plural sense does not make any difference on your score. The total number of questions which you get in this task is generally about 8 to 10. And because you'll be doing two things simultaneously, first you listen to the question and then you speak. This task is an integrated task which gives marks in speaking and listening both. The approximate number of points which you get out of 90 towards your speaking is around 2 to maximum 3 out of 90 total for all those correct answers. And for listening, you'll get approximately 6 to 7 points out of 90, which means that this task should not be taken lightly if you are targeting a higher score in PTE. Now, this task has little to do with English, and most of the questions either deal with common sense or general awareness. The question could be on any topic under the sun. For example, in which direction does the sun rise? Your answer should be east. What would you do if you see a red light at a traffic junction? Stop. As I said, one word is best. Which month falls between September and November? October. What do you call a group performance of actors in the background ensemble? So, sometimes the questions are very easy, sometimes they're a bit tricky. So you need to give an answer quickly without thinking too much. Now I'll tell you a few peculiarities about this task. The first is, after the question audio stops, the blue recording bar will start and there will be no beep sound. I'll repeat again. There is no beep sound, and as soon as the blue recording bar starts, you must give your answer within 3 seconds. Otherwise, the mic will stop recording and there might be a penalty on your score. So it's very important that you should not think too much. Give your answer preferably as soon as the blue bar starts moving, and as soon as you say your answer, you must click next immediately. You should not wait after you have spoken your answer. Otherwise, the microphone again records silence, and you know that if there is silence for 3 seconds or more, then there is a potential penalty on the speaking score. So please remember to be a bit alert in this task. Now, what should you do if you don't know the answer? I'll give you 2 suggestions for this. The first suggestion is, if you don't know the answer, you might still repeat maybe one word from the question itself. For example, let's say the question is, in which direction does the sun rise? Sun. Just say a word from the question itself. Now what will happen is that because you are speaking something, the software will detect an answer and you will not be penalized for not speaking anything. Because as I said, if you're silent, then definitely you will lose points. So if you speak something, you might still get something for your speaking score, but listening, definitely it's a wrong answer, so you lose that point. And generally speaking, if you give a wrong answer, it's a 0. If you give a right answer, it's 1. So there is no partial scoring, it's full scoring towards your scores. The second suggestion, if you don't know an answer, you can simply say, I don't know. For example, how many sides are there in an octagon? I don't know. The correct answer is 8. But let's say you don't know, then you say I don't know. So these are the 2 suggestions which can help you to maybe secure a good score in speaking, but definitely the listening score will go down. Now, a huge misconception or misunderstanding which a lot of people have with this task is that answer short questions is not important at all. That's not true. The problem with this task is if you give more than 2 wrong answers out of all questions which are asked, or if you say I don't know maybe more than 2 times in your answers, there is a very high chance that your listening score will drop down significantly. At the beginning of this session, I did mention that for speaking you get roughly 2 to 3 points, which is not a lot out of 90 for all correct answers, but for listening you'll get around 6 to 7 points for all correct answers. And if more than 2 answers are wrong, there is a high chance that you might lose a lot of points from those 6 or 7 points. So if you are targeting a score of 65 each or 79 each, that is at the moment that is 7 each equivalent and 8 each equivalent respective to IELTS scores, then you cannot afford to mess up this task. The good thing about this task is that there is a, I would say, 30 to 50% chance of questions coming from the latest prediction files which we have, and also from the questions which are given on our portal. So make sure that you try to go through as many questions as possible and don't rely only on the prediction file. Try to finish all questions from the portal as well. That will be very, very helpful. And also please remember, I'm repeating this again, but please remember that there are 2 tasks in the speaking module of PT where there is no beep sound. The first task is repeat sentence and the second task is answer short question. So it's very important that mentally you are alert that after 1 or 2 questions of retell lecture, the next question will be answer short questions, because this is one more point which a lot of people forget, that after the first or second question of retell lecture, people expect a third question of retell lecture and they are expecting a longer audio, but actually the audio will be just a question which will just end very quickly in 1 or 2 or 3 seconds, and then you have to give the answer. So always be very alert and attentive in your PT exam and focus on your screen, because you need to know the answer promptly. That's all for answer short question, guys. Don't take it lightly and do prepare all the questions well from our portal. That's all. Thank you very much.